Katie, she says she's trying since 6:25 to get into the meeting. And so we're going to start as she continues to try to get in.
All righty.
God. Ridiculous.
What's up? Okay, I think I'm missing two people. Is there anybody who hasn't said hello yet? There's somebody on an iPhone? No? Okay. Let's start with old business. I have on the agenda approval of the meeting minutes from November 10th. I sent that out with the notice of the meeting. Does anyone have any changes they'd like to make to those meeting minutes? Or did I get it wrong? Hi, Brendan Mensing. I see your message. He's on the iPhone.
Yep, I see that.
And I'm not recalling, but I think if I'm not wrong, that Brendan Mensing lives on Route 7 near Quaker Street. Am I right about that, Brendan?
Okay, he's on Gage Road down from me.
On Gage Road. Okay, thank you.
Yep.
So if there are no objections to the meeting minutes, let's approve those. And John, I know you were talking about getting the minutes up from the September meeting. I don't know if that ever happened,
Yes.
but
Yeah, we're able to
Okay.
get a separate page. If you go to the town's website and you search on minutes, I believe it's search on minutes, you should see the broadband committee link there, and the September minutes are on that page now. So we'll be able to, as we approve these minutes, we can just add them to that page now.
perfect. Good to know. I'll go
Thank-
looking for them. I hadn't found them before, but I'll
Yep.
go look. I have a couple of new items that I didn't get on the agenda. I guess before we really get started, I do want to just acknowledge that, for me at least, today is a sad day. Want to acknowledge that a mob of folks stormed the US Capitol today, and I feel they were incited to riot to stop the peaceful transition of our government and our democracy to a new president. And it's just very sad to me, but I do want to just let everybody know that we're here in our community to work together to accomplish the goals of getting broadband to everyone. And we're not gonna stop doing that. So my 2 cents. I just wanted to let everybody know that I'm not going to ignore the woes of the world just because we're having a meeting tonight.
Right.
So-
Annabelle, Annabelle, can you hear me?
Yes.
It's Katie O'Brien. So I just wanted to know, I couldn't get on broadband, you know, how I normally go on pretty much every day. So I'm on phone, so I am able to take notes.
Okay, I'm sorry about that. Welcome and thank you. I have the names of everybody who's attending tonight. So
Okay, we
I'll
can-
make sure we get those to you. And I'll try
Thank
to
you.
get, please identify yourself when you speak up so Katie knows who's talking.
Thank you.
Roger, John, and Mary Ellen, I sent a copy of a draft letter supporting Assembly Bill 6679. And I'm hoping to get that out soon. Does anybody have any comments on that? And do people want some background on it?
Yes, what is that?
So Assembly Bill 6679 is now on the governor's desk. And it's a bill relating to, it would require the Public Service Commission to review the state of broadband services in New York, to provide basically they're asking the legislature wants the Public Service Commission to study the availability of broadband statewide and have public hearings and write a report to the legislature. It's an attempt to get the Public Service Commission to do the mapping information gathering that it has not done so far. And while I think that for us, since we've done our own mapping, it is not that urgent. I think that statewide, it really needs to happen. And so I would like the Broadband Committee to support that legislation and ask the governor to sign it. I don't see a downside. The upside is that others will be able to do mapping the way we have. And that maybe people will be aware of how many still need to be served in the state.
Very good.
So you can look up, if anybody wants me to send them a copy of 6679C, it's the Assembly bill, or you can Google it. And the letter I intend to send out simply says that the Duanesburg Broadband Committee was formed in 2018 by a group of residents and elected officials for the purpose of advocating for high-speed broadband service to all residents in the town. Our biggest frustration has been our inability to get accurate information about existing broadband and fiber optic services in our community, and that the state and federal agencies are relying on broadband service maps that are flawed and notoriously inaccurate. And I write that Assembly Bill A6679, if signed, will go a long way to providing the citizens of New York accurate information about availability of what has become a necessity. So if anyone has any objections to my sending that letter out on town letterhead, please let me know. You can let me know now, or I'm happy to discuss it further. But I'd like to get that out. I'm sorry, go ahead.
No objection
I
here.
would like to get the letter out this week, preferably tomorrow or the next day. So Roger, are you okay with that?
Yeah, I'm fine with it. I'm actually in my office right now, so I'm putting that on the letterhead. I'm going to email it back to you.
Oh, lovely. Thank you very much. You'll want to change the date on that because it's dated last year. If you could date it for today or tomorrow, that would be helpful.
Okay, not a problem.
Thank you so much.
It sounds like a great letter. This is Katie O'Brien. Thank you for doing it. Are we able to get a copy of it just to see it, even though we're approving it?
In fact, no, I was supposed to attach it here, but I forgot. So I will send one to you right away.
It might be nice. We can always do the minutes for this this meeting and then have it as an attachment when it goes out too, so that it stays on Facebook and it's can it be public record?
Yes, it will be. I think that's an excellent plan. Had I thought of it sooner, I would have done it in advance, but good idea. I will make sure that happens.
Thank you. What's next?
I'm sorry, I'm ready.
Okay, me too.
Next, Mary Ellen has kindly looked at the proposed Duanesburg comprehensive plan. Because there's a segment in there on the Duanesburg Broadband Committee and its efforts. And that plan, the update to the plan was revised back in October, I believe. And so there is a public hearing on it on January 21. Is that right, John and Roger? Are you guys attending that? public hearing on the comprehensive plan?
I believe it was set for that day. Yeah, I mean, we usually have the public hearings right as part of our board meetings. So it'd be at the beginning of our board meeting.
Okay, at any rate, we wanted to make sure that we got updates to those charts about the broadband, the status of broadband extension in the town. And I'll make sure that I submit that to whoever needs it, or Mary Ellen will do so. And I plan to attend that public hearing.
Okay, yeah, just go give them to me and John and we'll pass them along.
Okay, perfect. Do you know who's working on that now? Oh, I think it's Jeff Schmidt, right?
No, Phil Sexton is still leading that for us.
Oh, okay.
So Bill Sexton is
That's,
coordinating the comprehensive plan?
yes, Philip Sexton. He was the
Okay.
former chair of the planning board. Am I right about that? You're muted, John.
Yes, he was.
Yes,
So he
he
was
was
the former chair of the town
Correct.
planning
Planning
board.
board.
correct. And he has resigned from that position, but he was basically in charge of the organization of this comprehensive plan review. So he agreed to stick with it until its finality. So, yeah, and we're almost there.
Yeah, so I will follow up on that. Mary Ellen and I will follow up on that. Assistance, I have as more new items, or sorry, new business. I had an exchange today with Jim Niedermeyer. Welcome to the meeting, Jim. I know you were at the last meeting as well. Thank you for attending. And I spoke to Mary Ellen as well. I know that he has an interest in making sure that we can map the unserved residences, or at least students, who are outside the town of Duanesburg, but in this Duanesburg Central School District. I do want to make clear that, look, I think that the town of Duanesburg is actually going to be able to accomplish getting a wired broadband connection to all of our residents. I'm hoping it'll happen by the end of the year. We're really getting close. And once that happens, my constituency is going to go away. That is, the purpose of the Duanesburg Broadband Committee was to get wired broadband to everyone. And once we accomplish that goal, our purpose will be complete. But I'm putting it out there that I'm willing, and I know that Mary Ellen is also willing, to assist the school in getting all of its students and hopefully residents also hooked up with a wired broadband connection. So I'm willing to help.
I appreciate it.
This is Katie, and I'm willing to help as well.
Thank you.
I know that, just to chime in, I know that, so we have a pretty good sense of the students who don't have broadband access, just because we are currently providing them with wireless hotspots. But there's probably more out there that are using wireless hotspots that they have on their own, that they're not getting from the school. My other mission, in the mission that I'm kind of working on with other superintendents in the region, is the access is paramount, and then the next step is the affordability, and working with legislators to make sure that kids can now afford to access the broadband that they have once committees like yours have done their work. So those are some things that some superintendents and I are working on. But I appreciate your help.
And I'm one of those people who have been struggling with connectivity at the moment, but certainly the issue of the cost of connecting is a huge one. And as long as we only have one broadband provider, that is going to be, the fact that it's a monopoly means they can get anything they want for us because we need that connection. So anyway, I think it's going to be an ongoing issue for us, even once we get a connection. I agree with you, thanks. Hey, Roger, next issue on my item was, it's kind of old business, but you were going to send me a list of addresses, if you recall.
I'm working on that right now for you, actually.
Okay, thank you.
But I just emailed you that letter, so the letterhead, so you should have that coming to you.
Okay, thanks. And the last thing I'm going to say is, well, maybe not the last, but I'll shut up for a while after I say that on Creek Road, we got about the best Christmas present ever. On the Wednesday before Christmas, I was able to greet the nice linemen at the bottom of my driveway with Christmas cookies. And they did confirm for me that they are working on getting wires down Creek Road for broadband connections. They're doing their make-ready work.
Good.
Hooray!
Long time
Yay.
coming,
Ooh, nice.
but we have some hope that we actually have made enough noise to get the job done. My understanding is that Creek Road is part of a project of about 168 homes, most of them in the town of Duanesburg. But that list that Roger obtained may be able to give us more of an idea of which homes may not be included. Because according to Mary Ellen's numbers, we have 203 unserved homes. Is that correct, Mary Ellen? Nod, okay. And so 168, not all in the town, means that there will still be unserved outside of that project. So my goal here is, our goal here as a group should be to get a project list for every road we know is unserved in this town. And that's where you all come in. And so if we can go down the list of the status of road by road line extension, maybe we can get updates to that. That's the next thing on the agenda. Kim, do you have any information to report on Schoharie Turnpike East? Hey, Kim.
I'm sorry, can you hear me?
I can hear you. You were on mute,
Okay.
but now you.
Because I was like trying to figure out how to unmute myself.
You got it. Any new information for us? I know last time we said there were just a couple of houses that were, badly planned out.
Yes. So we have a couple of houses that are badly planned out. I was just texting my neighbor to see if they were hooked up with Spectrum yet. But you called on me too quickly before I could hit send on the text message.
That's okay. Go ahead and hit send.
And then I did see one of the farms down the road, that big orange spool of cabling is at the end of their driveway. So I do know that they're going to be served, but I think because it's the winter and the ground is frozen, they can't trench it, but it's all there.
Okay, so things are moving forward in your neighborhood, right?
Things are moving forward, but although I am concerned about the Monahans next door, I know Roger was going to look into that. Those are the two houses that were completely skipped over.
Okay. Hey, Roger, do you have any information on those two houses on Schoharie Turnpike?
Nothing I have on those houses. I think I have to dig through my emails and follow up on it. I know I sent Kevin emails about them. I just have to follow up, but I'm writing myself a note to do that right now.
Okay, yeah, I mean, I remember that you were going to talk to him. I'm sure he did, but that doesn't mean he answered. For everyone's information, Roger is talking about Kevin Egan. He is our municipal contact with Charter Spectrum. So the next on the agenda is Creek Road. As I said, it's part of project number 2118093, approximately 168 homes. Yay.
Hey, it's been a long time.
Thanks, Jim had to hop off, but I thank him for attending. So is it any word on Suits Road? I'm assuming there's none.
Nothing new unless somebody from Suits Road's on the phone call. And they've seen some action there, but I know.
We don't have anyone from Suits Road, is that correct? Okay. So is anybody from Turnbull Road on? Can anybody remind me who lives on Turnbull that was here last time? Anyway.
I could look it up on minutes. Let me see.
It's okay. He's not on today. If anyone learns of a project number for the end of Turnbull Road, let me know. Jan and Ralph are on the phone, right?
Annabelle, I've got the
Yeah,
minutes. I'm sorry, I got the minutes here, and it mentions the Dragosits on Turnbull.
Well, no, it would be after that because Mr. Dragosits was served. It's the southern end of Turnbull.
Oh, okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Alexander Road, Jan and Ralph.
Yeah.
Do you have any word for? Do you have anything for us?
We didn't quite hear that.
Oh, sorry. I am wondering if you have any news from us on whether anyone has contacted Charter Spectrum or whether you have a project number for Alexander Road.
No, we don't.
Okay.
I was never able to get back to that same person that I talked to. Of course, you never are.
Right.
You know, so I couldn't get any further information at that point.
Okay. Well, when you get fed up and give them a call, just remember to ask them for, do you have a project number for your residents at Alexander Road?
All right, I'll try them again tomorrow.
Okay. I know how frustrating it can be. No pressure on this end. So Kim Heimberg just said, Katie, if you can take a note, Kim Heimberg says on Schoharie Turnpike that the Paganos are scheduled for installation on Friday.
Okay, who, Kim says, who?
The Paganos, P as in Paul, A-G-A-N-O,
Okay.
are scheduled for installation on Friday, and they're on Schoharie Turnpike.
Excellent. Got it.
Okay, Gage Road. Zach?
Yes. So do you need the project number again?
I think we have the project number. I think it's on the meeting minutes.
Okay, I was pretty sure. Yeah, so when I called last in December, I forget the date, they said that they had moved it to February, the anticipated completion date. But when I talked to the lady for a while and she said that's pretty tentative. Like there's a pretty good chance it's probably gonna get pushed back again. She didn't really have any reason, but she was just kind of more or less like it was a tentative date. and I haven't seen really anything out here yet that is like any trenching or any kind of work of any sort. And then I had called because they said originally that December 7th or 2nd was our anticipated completion date, but then nothing happened, so it just got pushed back.
Yeah, so did they say that they were going to come out and install it in December?
Yeah, that's what they had initially said.
Kim, does that sound familiar? The reason I ask is the stories I get a lot of times is people call and ask for service, and Charter Spectrum says, "Oh yeah, we'll set you up with the installation department," and it takes them a while to figure out that, oh, there's no cable on that road. Well, maybe we'll have to get the construction department involved, and then they bounce you back and forth between construction and service, construction service. So be aware that that's a game they.
Right. Yeah. It took me a while. Like one guy that I initially, the one guy I spoke to, I have no idea what his name was, but originally in like it's probably November, he was the one that gave me. He was like, "This is the information you need." He gave me the like construction number, but then also like my project and then the main build numbers, which was very helpful. So I've just been going through that, but I mean, like I said, I haven't had much luck with anything since.
So here, I have a question for you. You may be able to help me out.
Mhm.
The main build project number that they gave you, does that match the project number on the agenda for Creek Road?
Let me check.
Is it 2118093?
211-809. Yes.
Okay. So what that tells me is that Gage Road is a part of the build to 168 odd residences in the town.
Nice.
Thank you.
But so that means to me at least, because I know like Brendan, because he's a little further down the road. I'm hoping that. So does that mean they would service the entire road? It wouldn't be just to me.
So Roger, would you like to ask Kevin Egan that question?
This is, you didn't hear this top secret information from me since I signed a non-disclosure agreement. On their tentative list for Gage Road, and like I said, this is a tentative, and a lot of times they skip numbers for whatever reason. It looks like it goes from 565 gauge to in the 2000s, like 24, 22. So any of those addresses in between, it's on their list of that project.
It's part of the
Repeat
same
again.
project.
And don't put that in, don't put the numbers in the minutes, please.
Nope.
Just say we spoke on Gage Road because I signed a non-disclosure agreement for these
Yeah, yeah.
addresses.
And that's most of Gage Road, I think. That's
I was
all
gonna.
of it.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking too. That's
That's
pretty
almost-
far down.
It's a
That's almost
spreadsheet.
2 miles of road.
It's the unserved.
So
amount.
yeah, so it's almost,
No.
I think you're right. I think it's whatever homes are not served on that road, it looks like it will be served in that project.
Annabelle, what was the timeline for Creek Road? I'm sorry, I didn't hear that earlier.
The timeline for Creek Road formally is September 2021.
Okay.
Informally, it's spring of 2021.
Okay.
Is what?
Spring.
Katie O'Brien?
Yes.
In the meeting minutes, please just let us know that we talked about the Gage Road project and that we believe that it is part of the same project as Creek Road, okay?
It's not only in this minutes, but it's also in the minutes from last month. Also, it's actually given two project
Yep,
numbers,
that's fine.
23774 and 2118093.
Right, that's fine.
Good.
So it's no new word. It's basically the same information as from last meeting. So I have Thousand Acre Road on our list. And I believe I added that because Chet Bulkey was on the phone call last time. just want him to know that we haven't forgotten Thousand Acre. But I don't think he's with us tonight.
I can let him know. I have his number. It's Brendan Mensing. I'll let him know.
We have nothing new.
Yeah.
from him. He's just on the agenda, okay? Brendan?
So,
Annabelle,
Yeah,
Yes, got it. Thank you.
okay.
so what is the status
Annabelle.
of that road?
Katie, I heard your question. No change on Thousand Acre Road. Who else had a question?
hi, Annabelle, this is Ralph Catalano. When I thought the last meeting that Roger Tidball was supposed to look up that project number for us on Alexander Road, the 1367 Alexander Road we were speaking of, Scott Ferrillo's house.
Oh, Scott Perillo's house?
Yeah.
Roger, can you remind me what we just said about Alexander Road? Have you spoken to Kevin Egan about it?
I have to look through my emails right now. I know I sent an email about that, asking with the project numbers, but there are a few addresses on that list for Alexander Road, so which makes it very promising that that is a project, but I don't have a project number yet.
Okay.
Okay. So that's a hopeful, we don't know.
I think it looks hopeful that, yeah, because like I said, there's a few Alexander Road addresses on this list, so they're close to the number he said. So I think that's, like I said, they don't put all the addresses on, they'll skip around, but they're not going to pass houses.
Right.
So,
Okay. And I'll take a look at that. Mary Ellen and I will take a look at that and try to figure out what's there and what's not there. We had a couple of folks, Joe O'Neill had to leave because he had a screaming toddler. Remember the days. And Kim Heinberg had to leave us as well.
Just a heads up, Annabelle. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can.
So
Yeah.
from what I observed on Schoharie Turnpike, I know that it seems like they've told Zach on Gage Road that, you know, they have this completion date in February, which just doesn't seem likely. From what I observed on Schoharie Turnpike, and I'm sure Kim, I wish you hadn't had to hop off, but would probably say the same, is that it's quite a process from the time that they start digging a trench in the ground. I think it was somewhere close to about 8 or 9 months by the time we actually had somebody knocking at our door to say, hey, we can give you some connection. So
Yeah.
maybe if this February date that they're giving him, hopefully that's the day that they're going to put the shovels in the ground. But I think by the time we actually see somebody knocking on your door on Gage Road, it might be closer to September or October, just based on what I observed, how long it takes them to trench through all the ground here in Waynesburg, you know, the wonderful rocks that we have here.
Yeah, I know all about rocks.
Yeah,
They grow here.
Yeah.
Well, I was just wondering, you know, if you had heard 1367 Alexander with the other addresses. When we're at 1200, we're not too far away from that. I can't see why they can't come up the hill a little bit.
I
This is
understand,
Katie.
you know, that's why we're looking for project numbers, and what I can say is that if the town of Duanesburg, if this project is in fact part of Charter Spectrum's settlement with the Public Service Commission, which they reached after the governor threatened to kick them out of the state, that they need to complete the main construction project by September of 2021, because that's the deadline in the settlement agreement.
I just wanted to know I can give up HughesNet.
Well, don't give up HughesNet yet.
Yeah, right.
So does anybody want to talk about assistance from Verizon? I don't have any news on that. Anyone else? Going, gone. The New York Public Service Commission. Well, there have been lots of goings on. I don't know if you guys read about the battle between the North Country folks who questioned their, I don't know, it was 1,000 or so, I think, connections that Charter claimed to have made, but that had actually been completed way before this settlement with the Public Service Commission. So they got called up on that, and apparently they lost. And so they had to give back kayaks contribution and native construction payments. I'm just keeping that one in my back pocket. Again, I'm very hopeful that the town of Duanesburg will get service. And so I'm changing my strategy from threatening and cajoling to being sweet and kind and asking for project numbers. I don't have anything on assistance from Midtel. Does anybody want to add anything on that? No? Okay. Has anybody been in touch with Michelle Hinchy, who is our new state senator?
Yeah.
I have not. Hey, Roger, have you heard from her?
No, nothing from the new senator. She never reached out during her campaign either, but she did have a fundraiser here during the year. So, but no, nothing from her or the senator or the assemblyman. We haven't heard nothing from them yet.
Well, actually, I had heard from Assemblyman Santa Barbara's office. In fact, I had a long telephone conversation with his, I forget his staffer's name, title, but Nick Zach. And I had a long conversation, and they're always ready to help and assist us. And in fact, it was they who helped me out with information about who to send this letter to, because Angelo Santa Barbara actually co-sponsored Assembly Bill 6679, which we're writing the letter out. I believe that this legislation came out of the joint hearing that I testified before back last fall. So, and I also plan to have another, I think I have a telephone call scheduled with Nick again at the end of the month. So if anyone wants me to reach out to them about any issues, that is Angelo Santa Barbara's office, let me know. I'd be happy to raise it with them.
This is Katie O'Brien. Annabelle, can you give me the school district, Jim's interest in the school district interest in also serving people not in town of Duanesburg, but in the Duanesburg, school district? Maybe we can that can be advocated for with Nick.
Yes, certainly. Angelo Santa Barbara's whole district encompasses the Duanesburg School District. And I know that, so his goals in achieving broadband build out in rural areas include the school district for the town of Duanesburg and beyond. So
thank you.
If there's any specific ask you want me to make, just let me know. I was also in touch with Congressman Tonko's staff, Emily Silverberg, and I had a long conversation right after the announcement of SpaceX got a boatload of funding from the FCC in the RDOT, the Rural Development Opportunity Fund. And so I had she let me know about that. They're very excited and are also interested in holding SpaceX's Starlink, their feet to the fire to make sure they provide the service they've promised. I was able to identify the specific grants awards in the town of Duanesburg that were awarded to Starlink. Interestingly enough, all of the Starlink awarded locations are already served either by Verizon or by Mariahville Telephone. So I expressed to Paul Tonko's office that we would love to see Starlink blanket the town of Duanesburg, because that would, although it's a better satellite system than the current ones, the Hughes nets that you're using, for instance, they're promising faster download speeds. The cost presumably will be subsidized because they're getting FCC grant funding. And if nothing else, it could provide an alternative to very expensive wired internet service. So in my opinion, if we can get Starlink to actually provide service in the town of Duanesburg, it could be an alternative for those people who don't need really fast download speeds and who are looking for a cost benefit, depending on what they charge. So I will continue to follow up with them and make sure, it's an interesting technology and it's worth following up on.
Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I believe that the Usenet claims 25 megabit download, and I believe that the Starlink is claiming up to 100. That's a claim. Either way, it sounds like it's significantly faster than Use, at least.
So Starlink is actually capable of doing gigabit speed down in the best circumstances. They're required to provide 100 down.
Okay.
In order to get this RDOF money.
I see.
Or they've bid that they can, that's why they won this RDOF money, because they said they could get 100 down. And the FCC gives the grant money to the highest speed and the company, the highest speed, lowest cost bid in an area. So SpaceX actually bid at 100 down.
And of course, it would still have the other limitations like weather could knock you out and things like that.
Yes. That it would. And we don't know what the data caps might be. I mean, right now they're saying there won't be data caps, but I don't know. I think the hope is that this new technology will eliminate the need for data caps because it's a web of service. It's a web of broadband rather than a direct signal. I think, anyway, I'm not a technician, but they say it's better. Anybody want to talk about the social media initiative?
Yeah, the only thing that I would bring up is like I said, and I can send you the link. We do have we're able to get the September minutes on the town's website. If you go to the search bar and you search on minutes, you'll see that one of the options that comes up is for broadband, and you can click on there and the minutes will be posted there. We've reached out to the vendor that we get the web software development kit from, and they're going to help us set up an actual separate page for broadband so that we can post our videos and things like that out there as well. So hopefully by the time of our next meeting, that'll be up and operational. But at least the minutes will be out there for now. So, yeah.
That's wonderful. Thank you, John. And of course, these minutes, I'll get them to you finalized and in, you want PDF format, right?
Yep, that'll be great.
So I'll send those out to you after the meeting. That's the minutes from the November meeting.
Yes.
Okay. I think I'm done. Does anybody else want to talk for a while? No? No takers? Well, thank you all for coming. Oh, one more thing. We need the next meeting date.
Yes.
I'm assuming that there will not be a Dwaynesburg Day this year. Is that accurate, Jeffrey? Okay. Because I was going to kind of coordinate to make one of our meetings be Dwaynesburg Day, but sadly, it is not to be.
No way we could pull that off in the amount of time right now.
No.
It just doesn't seem like it's gonna happen.
So we're looking at March. Roger, John, when would you like to put it?
For me, the first Wednesday would be good.
March 3rd?
Yeah.
Does that work for everybody?
Works for me.
Okay, March 3rd, 2021, 6:30. So tentatively, I think we're going to do this via Zoom again.
More than
Unless I get
Probably.
vaccinated. Bring it on.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you, Annabelle. Appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Annabelle.
You're welcome. Thank you for
everyone.
coming and keep calling and bothering those legislators and asking for wired broadband.
And thank you for
All right,
everybody,
we'll do-
because you're all part of this. And of course, we thanked Annabelle, but we thank Roger and John and everybody that's coming to the skating.
Thank you.
Well, very nice. Very good.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, thank you all.
Good night, everyone.
Have a good
Thanks,
night.
everybody. Have a good night.
March 3rd.
Barb.
Hey, Katie, do you want to stick on for a minute and I'll give you names?